when I was casting Mr. Capshaw, I mean, I got tapes, and again, like nothing was really working. So I kind of went to Nikki. We're getting very close to the shoot, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I just can't find anybody. And Nikki mentioned you.
Yeah, I met Nikki years ago. We did a film called August the 1st, which was a really great time. And since has ended up on Showtime. She was producer on that. And I remember, Nick, we ended up at the South by Southwest Film Festival. Do you remember that? Then I don't think I'd talked to you in like, God, I don't know, years. Rob, you called, right? And you said, hi, I talk to you because, I knew Nikki. And I was like, ooh, okay. So yeah, and we ended up chatting at this one of my favorite coffee shops in Gramercy Park.
I remember that. Yes, that was.
Didn't I email you first to ask you if it was okay for me to give your information, Dennis?
I think you did, and then I called. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I believe you.
I don't remember.
I don't give out info without permission.
I'll tell you what I do remember, actually. When I did see your tape, I was in Disney World with my family, and I remember really being bummed out because we were going to be shooting, and I think at that point it was like a month, and I was really worried that we didn't have. I was going to come back and we weren't going to have somebody. This is where I was when I saw your tape. I was laying down in bed at the end of a day at Disney World, and I was like, "Oh my God, this made my night. I can relax tomorrow and have fun." So I appreciate that.
There's something strangely appropriate about that. I don't know.
Your dreams come true, right?
Right.
And if it didn't work out, you'd be beating up Goofy the next day.
Yeah, Goofy was gonna have a bad day if
he'd be in the local Orlando news, filmmaker, assault cartoon character. Yeah.
That'd be interesting. That's another episode of the Hunters Anthology is the attack on Goofy. But as far as the role goes, both parents are kind of off from the beginning in this. We're not gonna say any spoilers yet. We'll get to that later. But Mr. Capshaw is very detached and very formal, more so than a father should be. I was wondering, what you were thinking preparing for the role and how you approached it.
The thing that I think about with kind of characters like that is to try and play against it or to play the opposite of it. I mean, there's a temptation to like lean into it and like be really weird and I always think it's actually creepier if you do the opposite, especially if you have somebody who's like, they're a little off,
Yeah. I will turn to Alicia now. So I remember getting a lot of Mrs. Capshaws, and a lot of them were actually really good, but you really stood out. You really brought the over the top, way too nice, but you had this like bit of creepiness to go with it. Something that was just, it's perfect. It's just, for both characters, just being a little off is all I needed. And I know that you're from a theater background, and I remember you telling me when we met that it was really the first film thing that you were doing. And I thought that was really interesting. And man, on the shoot, I would have never known. If you hadn't told me, I would have never known that. So I wanted to know kind of what the difference was and then how you approach the character.
The obvious difference is I can't be as animated because I'm not on stage. So I had to remember that and keep that in the forefront of my mind. But I definitely wanted to make sure that I conveyed everything that, we talked about with Mrs. Capshaw and who she was and what her objective was, so that, she could get her son the help that he needed. So, yeah. that was a major difference. Yeah, just remembering that I'm not, on a stage and I don't have to cheat this way or cheat that way. The camera is gonna, you're gonna get me from the angle that you need to get me, and to just convey with my face more than my body what my intentions were.